Hi guys! So today's video is all about beginner's makeup, and I did this makeup look using only this beginner's makeup kit that I created in this little bag. It contains of 6 makeup products and 3 like essential must-have makeup brushes. All of the products are fairly cheap, considering you might be young and don't have too much money. So this is just like a little guide for you if you're young and you want to start out with makeup but you just don't know where to start and what to use and how to use it. Now, just a little disclaimer, this is just my tips. You don't have to follow them. If you have a certain way you like to wear your makeup and you're comfortable with that, just go for it as long as your parents are okay. But these are just, you know, the makeup products that I think look nice on younger girls. So if you want to see how I did this makeup look, then keep watching. It's really easy to go wrong with the foundation, trying to find the right shade, and it's hard to know how to blend, using the right tools and all that. You could go for a light BB cream, but I'm just going to go straight to concealer. I recommend you to use a spot concealer. The under eye concealer isn't that important, although I should really have it, but when you're like, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, you probably, unless you have some bad genes or something, you probably don't have bags under your eyes or darkness under your eyes. So you probably would want to hide your spots. So I think the NYX Incredible Waterproof Concealer is really good for that. You would want to get a little bit of a sticky consistency on the concealer so that it sticks to the spot and doesn't come off that easy, which this does. It's really easy to apply. You just dot it on and dab with your fingers. You don't need any tools, and it's rather cheap. When that's said, I think concealer is probably the one thing out of these makeup products you should not necessarily use the most money on, but make sure you get the right concealer. You don't want it to be too dark or too light because you don't want to draw attention to the spots that you want to conceal. Try to make the color be as similar to your skin tone as possible, especially when you're not using a foundation. Sometimes you would use a little bit of a darker foundation or a little bit of a lighter foundation, trying to match it with the rest of your body. But when you don't have any BB cream or foundation on, you just want it to match your actual skin color. So you just put it on wherever you want to hide your blemishes or redness. And then try to dab it. I am naturally going to skip the powder because I have so dry skin. Powder is just going to cling to those dry areas and make it more like patchy and cakey, so I'm just going to skip that. If you have a little bit of a oily skin, instead of using a powder, I recommend you use a blotting paper, something like this. This is from NYX. That way you won't add more product to your skin, just take off your oil. Also, bronzer is not the perfect makeup product to start out with because it's a little bit tricky. You have to practice to make it look natural. They can be a little bit too orange, a little bit too brown. It's not easy to know exactly where you should apply it, what tools to use, and so on. So I'm just gonna, and same with the highlighter as well. It's easy to look like a disco ball. So I'm just going to go straight to blush, and the blush I'm going to recommend to you guys is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Soft Color Blush in Santa Rose. The reason why I recommend this one is because it's so neutral. I've talked about this in several videos before because it's the most neutral blush I have, plus it's really cheap and it goes to pretty with every skin tone possible, I think. I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Professional Bronzing Brush, but just because this is so versatile, so you can use it for bronzing, blush, and highlighting, powder as well, I guess. And also it's really cheap, so dab some on and then just tap off the excess. Make sure it's not too close to your nose. Try to fit at least one or two fingers before you start out with your blush. So then apply it. I don't really smile, maybe I do. You apply it while you go upwards and like so. It's better to put on a little at a time than to put on a lot at once. You can just build it up if you're not satisfied with the color or the amount of color. Next up is brows. I think the easiest product to use is some sort of a brow powder. You can use an eyeshadow. I like to use the ones from Jordana. This one's in light ash brown, but you can get so many colors. They're really natural. You can use them as eyeshadows as well, which is really great, and they're super cheap. I think they're $2.99 or something. And I just use a cheap angled brush, which you can use this one for lining your eyes as well. I just think it looks more natural and it's more easy to work with an eyebrow powder rather than an eyeliner or a brow gel. Also, make sure you don't overpluck your brows, or just don't touch them. Just pluck what is obviously not supposed to be there. So just find strokes starting at the tail and just working inwards. Now I'm going to skip the liner and liquid liner and all that. That comes a little bit later, I think, but having a few eyeshadows to play around with could be really fun. So I think e.l.f. has some really good beginners eyeshadows. These quads are really cute and travel friendly, and you get 4 eyeshadows in one. They're fairly good actually. The quality is okay. This one's in butternut, and this is the one that I'm going to use today. And I'm only going to use one eyeshadow brush and just my fingers as tools because I want to show you that you can do an eyeshadow look with simple tools. This is the e.l.f. Professional Blending Eye Brush, one of my favorite eye brushes, and a must-have, I think. Also, it comes with this little sponge brush, which you can definitely use. I might use it as a liner brush, we'll see. I'm going to use my ring finger first and start out with this peachy color and apply it on my eyelids. Then I'm using the lightest shade with my pinky. Is that what it's called? I think so. And just applying a little bit in my tear duct as a highlight. Then I'm going to be using the brush and the brownie, yeah, brown, taupey brown shade. Make sure to go light and then just build it up as you go if you'd like to. I'm going to put this one in the crease. And a little bit in the outer V. Make sure to blend well. Then with the darkest color, I'm going to use the little sponge applicator. And use that color as an eyeliner. It's definitely not the best tool, but if you have it, you can use it. And then just a tiny bit on top, on the top lash line as well. Then for mascara, you can absolutely go for a cheap one. I haven't tried it myself, but I know that the one from Jordana, the really cheap one, is supposed to be amazing. But I think you can just start out with just buying a cheap one and then just work yourself up. I still haven't found my absolutely like favorite mascara. That's like a lifelong hunt to get that perfect one, but at the moment I'm using just a sample size version of the Lancome Hypnose Volume Mascara. This one's in black, but I would recommend using a brown or black brown mascara because it's just more natural. Really simple. Okay, lastly we have lips. I think the most common thing to start out with is like a clear lip gloss or a pink lip gloss, which is fine. I think I did that myself, but it's really more moisturizing and kind of more natural. Not this exact one that I'm going to use, but you could find some really nice natural tinted lip balms, which is what I prefer. And the Maybelline Baby Lips has a good color variety. I'm going to use this one today, which is kind of a fun pink. I don't know what the color is. Pink Punch. So anyways, these were my tips on how to begin your makeup collection and how to start using your makeup. I hope you like this look, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye!